Precious and few are the moments we two can share.
And you would think, na 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 na, hey, that's what I'm leaving.
One of these one-hit wonders faded from the charts in the early 70s, only to re-emerge decades later in a Marvel blockbuster, earning its songwriter hundreds of thousands in royalties and a brand new lake house. Another nearly topped the charts with a song that had no lyrics, just yodels and guitar riffs. These aren't just forgotten tracks. They're time capsules of unexpected fame, wild stories, and lightning-in-a-bottle success. Let's dive into 15 unforgettable one-hit wonders from 1972 to 1973 that proved sometimes one song really is all it takes.
There's a port on a western bay and it's served.
Number 1, Brandy, You're a Fine Girl by Looking Glass. Released in 1972, this catchy tale of lost love and life at sea became an unexpected smash. Fusing storytelling with soft rock polish, the track stood out with its barroom piano, jangling guitars, and a vocal delivery full of wistful charm.
As when it told a sailor's story, she could feel
The
it.
band wasn't aiming for a hit. In fact, the song's success surprised even them. But when it hit radio, it caught fire. It reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became one of the defining sounds of the year.
Chain made of finest silver from the north of Spain. A locket.
What really set it apart was its vivid narrative, a heartbroken waitress and the sailor she can't quite hold on to. Though Looking Glass never landed another major hit, this single carved out a lasting legacy. It still shows up in movies, TV shows, and playlists that celebrate the golden age of AM radio. One perfect hit, and a story we still sing along to.
And Mrs. Jones.
Number 2, Me and Mrs. Jones by Billy Paul. In 1972, this smooth, soul-drenched ballad took listeners somewhere intimate and complicated. Built around a silky piano line and a slow, deliberate groove, it told the story of a forbidden affair, not with drama, but with aching restraint.
And no one knows she'll be there.
Billy Paul's vocal was masterful. Soft one moment, soaring the next, full of tension and tenderness. The song struck a chord, topping the Billboard Hot 100 and earning a Grammy for Best R&B Vocal Performance.
Go now.
What made it unforgettable was its emotional honesty. It didn't glorify or condemn. It simply captured the weight of loving someone you shouldn't. Backed by lush production from Gamble and Huff, key figures in the Philly soul movement, the track became a benchmark for storytelling in R&B. While Paul had other releases, nothing else matched the impact of this single. One moment of perfection, a quiet storm that still plays on hearts and radios alike.
Precious and few are the moments we two can share.
Number 3, Precious and Few by Climax. Released in early 1972, this tender ballad soared up the charts with its soft harmonies and romantic sentiment. Climax, led by the distinctive voice of Sonny Gerasi, crafted a love song that felt intimate and timeless. The arrangement was minimal, just enough instrumentation to support the vocals, allowing the emotional weight of the melody to shine. Precious and Few climbed all the way to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming one of the most requested songs of the year. Though the group had recorded other tracks, none matched the impact of this heartfelt gem. Its gentle tone made it a staple at weddings, radio dedications, and slow dances. This wasn't a song meant to dominate clubs or big arenas. It was built for quiet moments, and it found its home there. A single release, a single moment, and a lasting impression. Number 4, Bang a Gong, Get It On by T-Rex. With its slinky riff and glam rock swagger, this 1972 hit delivered everything a rock anthem needed, and then some. Mark Bolan's confident vocals and the band's stomping groove made it an instant standout, both in sound and style. While T-Rex had a string of hits in the UK, this was their only major success in the US, peaking at number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. The production, handled by Tony Visconti, layered guitars and percussion into a smooth, hypnotic flow that oozed cool. The track blurred lines between glam, rock, and even funk, showing that a band could be both edgy and accessible. It became a staple of 70s rock radio and helped define the glam era with its fashion-forward flair. Though Bolan's life and career were cut tragically short, this single left behind a riff and rhythm that's still instantly recognizable.
I don't remember why. I often wonder if it's true.
Number 5, How Do You Do by Mouth and McNeil. This quirky Dutch duo scored a surprise US hit in 1972 with a track that was equal parts charm and cheer. Built around bouncy rhythms, layered vocals, and an earworm chorus, it felt like the musical equivalent of a grin. The chemistry between the two singers gave the performance a playful edge, and the song's European flair made it stand out among American pop.
And I just like people, and you the same.
It shot to number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100, spending several weeks in the top 40 and becoming one of the most recognizable imports of the year. While the pair remained successful in Europe, they never recaptured that lightning-in-a-bottle moment on US charts. Still, this one joyful tune found its way into commercials, movie soundtracks, and playlists for decades. It was a feel-good anthem at a time when the world needed a little lightness, a brief flash of sunshine that stayed with us. Number 6, Hold Your Head Up by Argent. Released in 1972, this uplifting rock anthem carried a message of resilience, delivered through swirling organ riffs and a thunderous rhythm section. The band was formed by former Zombies keyboardist Rod Argent, and his signature touch on the keys gave the track its unmistakable sound. Unlike many rock songs of the time, this one relied heavily on organ-driven hooks rather than guitars, setting it apart instantly. It peaked at number 5 on the US Billboard Hot 100, and its empowering message gave it staying power. The chorus became a rallying cry, especially among listeners navigating the social changes of the era. While Argent had a solid musical pedigree, this was the only song of theirs to break through on a mainstream level. It's the kind of track that plays well in both a stadium and a garage, loud, defiant, and built to last. Number 7, Popcorn by Hot Butter. In a year dominated by soul, rock, and folk, this quirky electronic instrumental stood out like a blinking light in the dark. Popcorn, released in 1972, was one of the first synth-based hits to chart, built entirely around a catchy Moog synthesizer melody. The tune was originally composed by Gershon Kingsley, but it was Hot Butter's bubbly rework that brought it to the masses. It became a novelty hit, peaking at number 9 in the US. But it also hinted at something bigger, the future of electronic music. With no vocals and minimal arrangement, it relied entirely on tone and rhythm to get stuck in your head. And it worked. Though Hot Butter never repeated the success, this track earned a place in pop history as an early electronic breakthrough. Before EDM or techno had names, Popcorn was already paving the way, one bleep at a time.
And he thought he'd stop at Webb's and have him a drink before he went home to her.
Number 8, The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia by Vicki Lawrence. In 1973, this dramatic Southern Gothic tale hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and introduced a new side of Vicki Lawrence, better known at the time for her comedy work on The Carol Burnett Show. Backed by eerie strings and a haunting melody, the song told a story of betrayal, injustice, and small-town secrets. Its unexpected twists and gripping narrative gave it the feel of a short film set to music. Produced by Snuff Garrett and written by then-husband Bobby Russell, it stood out from the era's love ballads and party tracks.
And he started to shake.
The performance was surprisingly restrained, letting the story carry the emotional weight. Though Lawrence never had another chart hit, this single became a defining moment. proof that a great story, told with the right tone, could leave a lasting impact. Decades later, it still stands as one of the most unique one-hit wonders of its time.
We get it almost every night. And when that moon
Number 9. Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest. This mellow groove came seemingly out of nowhere in 1973, combining laid-back vocals, soft keys, and a breezy rhythm that made it an instant sing-along. Originally written by Sherman Kelly and recorded by another group, it was King Harvest's version that turned it into a classic. The band, based in France but featuring American members, captured a warm, nighttime energy that resonated far beyond the airwaves. It peaked at number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 and found its way onto countless summer mixtapes in the decades that followed. The magic was in the mood, relaxed, joyful, and just a little dreamy. Though the band never followed it with another major hit, this track proved that sometimes one perfect moment is enough. It remains a staple on feel-good playlists and retro radio stations, still inviting listeners to unwind and sway beneath an imaginary moonlit sky.
She was black as the night.
Number 10. Brother Louie by Stories. A bold and gritty tale of an interracial relationship and the pushback it faced, this 1973 track wasn't afraid to say what others wouldn't. Originally recorded by British band Hot Chocolate, the US version by Stories brought a harder rock edge and raw urgency to the subject. Driven by a steady groove and emotionally charged vocals, the song climbed to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was rare to hear something so socially direct on mainstream radio, especially wrapped in a package that was as catchy as it was confrontational.
He took us home to meet his mama and papa.
Stories hadn't had a major hit before, and wouldn't again, but this one left a serious mark. It wasn't just musically strong, it had guts. In a time of tension and change, Brother Louie offered a slice of real-world storytelling that still hits hard today. One song, one message, and a chart-topping legacy.
Gets me down, and there's no love to be found.
Number 11. Playground in My Mind by Clint Holmes. Released in 1973, this whimsical, childlike tune took an unconventional path to pop success. Featuring a duet between Clint Holmes and a young boy singing about imaginary friends and candy worlds, it might have seemed too sweet for prime time, but audiences couldn't get enough. The song climbed all the way to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, buoyed by its innocent charm and unusual arrangement.
we're gonna let them visit their grand.
Holmes had a strong stage presence and a Broadway background, but this lighthearted single became his only major hit.
In the playground in my
While some considered it novelty pop, its nostalgic tone and gentle hook gave it staying power. Whether it's remembered fondly or with a smirk, there's no denying it captured something different, a pure, almost surreal reflection of childhood. It may not be cool or edgy, but that's exactly why it stuck. In a world of heavy topics, it brought a little daydream to the charts.
she's faced the hardest times you could imagine.
Number 12. Wildflower by Skylark. This emotional ballad bloomed quietly in 1973, carried by tender vocals, lush strings, and heartfelt lyrics that read like a poem set to music. Skylark, a Canadian group that included a young David Foster on keys, crafted something deeply sincere and surprisingly powerful. Wildflower slowly climbed the charts, eventually peaking at number 9 in the US, resonating with listeners thanks to its raw vulnerability and soaring arrangement. The vocal performance was gentle but expressive, giving the song a timeless, aching beauty.
And a silent wind still blows.
Though Skylark would disband not long after, this single endured, covered by dozens of artists and sampled across genres. It wasn't flashy or trendy, it was emotional and honest. The kind of song that finds its way into weddings, memorials, and late-night reflections. A true one-hit wonder that bloomed once and left an unforgettable fragrance behind. Number 13. Hocus Pocus by Focus. This wild, genre-defying track exploded onto US airwaves in 1973 like nothing else. A blend of hard rock, classical flourishes, and, yes, yodeling, it was both absurd and brilliant. Focus, a Dutch progressive rock band, crafted something that felt like a roller coaster. Blistering guitar solos, unpredictable tempo shifts, and sudden bursts of flute and organ. It climbed to number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming a surprise hit for a song with no clear lyrics and zero radio polish. But that unpredictability was its strength. It sounded like nothing else. Though Focus remained a respected name in prog rock circles, they never again reached that level of mainstream success. Hocus Pocus remains a cult favorite, a reminder that sometimes a little chaos and virtuosity can turn into a chart-climbing phenomenon.
Tell me why can't we live together?
Number 14. Why Can't We Live Together by Timmy Thomas. Released in 1972, this minimalist soul track was built around little more than a drum machine, organ, and one deeply emotional voice. At a time when lush production and big bands dominated the charts, Timmy Thomas stripped it all back to the essentials.
Everybody wants to live together. Why can't we live together?
The result was haunting and immediate. The song's message, a plea for peace and unity, resonated during a tense moment in history, helping it rise to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. It didn't need complexity to make its point. The raw sincerity in Thomas's voice was enough. Though he continued to record music, this remained his signature moment. Decades later, it was famously sampled by Drake in Hotline Bling, proving its lasting influence. One voice, one beat, and a powerful statement that still echoes. Number 15. Dueling Banjos by Eric Weisberg and Steve Mandel. Few instrumentals have ever made the kind of impact this one did in 1973. Propelled by its appearance in the film Deliverance, Dueling Banjos became an unexpected cultural moment. A face-off between banjo and guitar that was both playful and intense. The musicianship was top-notch, and the back-and-forth structure gave it a narrative feel without a single word. It climbed to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, a rare feat for a bluegrass instrumental. The song introduced millions to a sound they hadn't heard before. Fast-picking, Appalachian-rooted, and completely captivating. Weisberg and Mandel were both seasoned session players, but this one performance became their defining achievement. Though its popularity was boosted by film, the track's standalone skill and charm made it a classic in its own right. 15 songs, 15 flashes of brilliance. One-hit wonders? Maybe. But forgettable? Not a chance. Thanks for watching. And if you want more, check out 15 Forgotten One Hit Wonders from 1974 next.